Hello, Michelle. How's it going today?
Good. How are you, Lindsay?
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling great. Do we have some exciting poll results to share for our
W-
listeners today?
We do. I was waiting on this one. I went into this
Oh,
one and I thought I
yeah.
want to know. Yeah. So, guys, if you haven't been listening on Spotify, we give out polls for our episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And on some of them, we really interact with you and we share the results. So,
Yes.
today we are going to share some results. So, on episode 2162, that was dating someone much older. Is it accepted in American culture? We talked about May December relationships where
Mm-hmm.
there is a wide age gap in a relationship. And we
Yes.
asked our listeners, have you ever been in a May December relationship? So, in a relationship where the other person, your partner, is much older or younger than you. So,
Mm-hmm.
Lindsay, you want to reveal the results?
Yes, here are the results. So 35% of you said yes, you have, and 65% of you said no, you haven't. So that's kind of interesting,
I thought so
Michelle.
too. Do you think it's more people than you expected that have?
Uh, no, I think that feels about right to me.
Mhm.
But globally, right? We talked about in this episode, and
Yeah.
again, what we're talking about here is everyone being over the age of 18, obviously. Okay.
Yes.
Go back and
Yes.
listen to that episode. But yeah, it's definitely we talked in that episode about culture, right?
Yeah.
What is the view from American cultural perspectives? It might be different around the world.
Yeah,
So that
sure.
could be influencing that number, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. Definitely.
Mhm.
So, guys, thank you for participating in that poll, and we'll have more to come. Guys, if you want to follow All Ears English because you haven't already, you will never miss anything from us. So, if you
Yes.
hit follow now, then you'll get the episode sent to you. It's going to be super easy. So, if you haven't done that already, please hit the follow button.
Love it. Okay, today we're talking about things that are expensive, right? What we're saying when things are expensive. Now,
Yeah,
this is a hot topic right now, Michelle, because inflation has
right.
been, especially in 2022, kind of
Yeah.
went through the roof. And I know it's not just in the US. I know that I think in Western Europe it's been high. I thought I heard in the UK it's been high. And then some countries have experienced like negative inflation
Mm.
too. So, yeah, what are we getting into today, Michelle?
Yep. Today we are going to be talking about expressing that something is very expensive or too expensive for you. Lindsay, can you think of the last time you didn't buy something because it was too expensive? Is there something that you
Uh,
said, I'm not going to buy that?
I don't know if it's as much for me about items, it's about going out to eat. That's where I've really felt the pain of
Mm,
inflation is going it feels like every time I go
yeah.
out to eat now, you just what you spend is 2 or 3 times what it used to be, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I just get annoyed and I say, "Oh, Denver doesn't have good enough food to merit that kind of price, so I'm staying home." I kind of protest and I get in a little bit of a fit. Uh,
Uh oh.
yeah.
That's
What about
funny.
you?
Oh, I mean, there's things all the time. So many times I'll see an outfit or something and I'll say, "Oh, I like that," and then I look at how much it is and I say, "I like it, but I don't like it for this amount of money." So that happens kind of frequently. There was also something recently. Actually, we did an episode. Do you remember the one where we said something it is?
Yes.
Remember? And I
Yeah, of
had gotten
course.
information about how expensive something
Oh,
was, and I
right,
said,
right,
"Okay, I'm
right.
going with the cheaper one." So,
Yeah.
definitely this happens all the time, for sure. So, it's funny. Today, we're gonna talk about how to express that something is too expensive. Guys, if you wanna learn about saving money abroad, listen to episode 2157. That was Save Money Abroad with these tips. So,
Yes,
that'll
love
help out
that.
with today's episode.
Yeah, and this is, today's episode is a connection skill, clearly, because we are all more or less looking at the same price tags, right? If we're buying the same thing, there's not a special price for this person or that person for most
Mhm.
things. And so we
Mhm.
are all, it's like the weather. We're all kind of experiencing these trends in inflation and the
Yeah.
cost of living, the cost of things. So this
Yeah.
is a true connection skill, Michelle.
Definitely. Yeah, because it can connect with somebody, say you can or can't do something, maybe even for a
Hmm.
little negotiating. Lots of things here. Lindsay, what is something that you do splurge on? What do you feel okay splurging on? What is worth it to you?
Well, I think when I travel,
Yeah.
I like to mix it up. So I'll do kind of a hostel, like a cheaper hostel one night and 1 or 2 nights, and then when we move to the next city in whatever country we're
Mm,
in, we're okay to splurge on a nicer hotel, especially if it's more affordable for us. But I wouldn't do that the entire trip, right?
right.
So when I am like treating myself, it has to be a treat. It's not something I get used to and get all the time, right? That's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
key. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Well, yeah, that's why it's a
A
splurge.
splurge.
It's not
Yeah.
something you do all the time.
It's a great bonus word, by the way, Michelle. Splurge.
Definitely.
Mhm.
Definitely. So, right, like you said, Lindsay, I think the 2 of us, we've learned that we would both
Yeah,
rather spend money on experiences than physical items. But
definitely.
everybody is different, and that's fine. Whatever everybody places value differently on different things. That's kind
Yeah,
of
it's
funny, but
really
it's true.
uh-huh. Yeah,
When I went to see the Pink concert, that was a splurge. When I went to see a
yeah,
Knicks game, that was a splurge. But I
yeah.
don't splurge on jewelry. I don't
Right, right.
splurge on clothes, really.
Yeah, yeah, and you'll always have the memory, but, everyone gets a satisfaction in different ways out of
Absolutely.
different things, right? So that's
Yeah.
fair, and so today we're gonna give our listeners some very native and natural vocab to have these conversations,
Yeah.
right, Michelle? Yeah.
Right. So we're going to start with the basic one.
Yeah,
This is
basic.
expensive. That's
Yeah.
the word that most of our listeners probably know already. So expensive. It's just costs a lot of money. Lindsay, so do you have expensive taste? Expensive taste, that's a
No.
good chunk.
No, I really don't. Because, speaking of hotels, right? When I travel within the US, it's a different story, right? Versus splurging on a nicer hotel abroad. I love the basic hotels, Hampton Inn, Hilton, love them because you get free breakfast.
Yes.
You get a nice king bed. The sheets are clean, it's basic, but it has everything you need. I was recently having a debate with a friend and they were saying, "Oh, but what about Marriott?" I said, "I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't need, plus I don't get free breakfast."
Right. Right, right,
So
right.
don't get me wrong, I do love a good Marriott. But yeah, I think it's nice to just sort of, I don't know, keep things in check a little bit. Personally, that's who I am. But what about you,
Yeah.
Michelle? Would you say you have expensive taste?
Well, it's funny. Expensive taste and what you'll actually spend money are 2 different things.
Yeah.
So, sometimes when I'm in a store, I find that, "Oh, this is what I like," and it's the most expensive thing. So, my taste might be I might just
You have good
naturally,
taste, that means, I guess.
"Oh, well, thank you. I don't know about that," but I'll say, "Oh gosh, I didn't," and then I realize, "Okay, maybe I have expensive taste, but I'm not going to take it to the next level of expensive buys." It doesn't always lead to it.
Yeah.
Maybe I like something, but I'm not going to buy. So,
Yeah. I mean, it's just there's definitely an adaptation. If we get used to always buying these expensive things, then we get stuck and we can't just kind of come back down to
that's
earth
true.
sometimes, right? But it sounds like you just have an eye for quality. Usually prices are commensurate with quality, but not always, which is the part where things go off the rails, right? When prices just
Definitely.
go up and the quality doesn't go up, right? And
Right.
that's honestly that's what I feel like we've seen in the US in the last few years.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Tricky. Yeah.
True.
Mhm.
So, let's go through another word. So, this is a fun one. So, the same idea as expensive, but this is kinda a cutesy way of saying it. It's pricey.
Yes, pricey. This is great. It's a little too pricey
Pricey.
for me, right? A little too
Yep.
pricey. Mhm.
And then the next one is a longer one, a little bit of an expression here. It's too rich for my blood. Lindsay, what do you think about this one?
I actually didn't know this one. This is interesting.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know it, but I learn something new all the time on this show, right? So you could say, "Oh wow, look at that apartment. Too rich for my blood." Love that
Yeah.
intonation, right? Too rich for my blood.
Yes.
Um
Yes. This one is just kind of fun. It's a little bit gross because we're talking about blood, but it's just
Right.
saying I don't have that kind of money,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
then there's a more basic one also, like out of my budget or out of my price range. So
Yeah.
I'd love to get that car, but unfortunately, it's out of my budget.
Mhm. Or he wants that shirt, but it's out of his price range. Maybe next time.
Mhm.
Nice. Yeah, and I think most of these are listeners, these might be new for our listeners, right? Pricey is a really good one. So I love
Yeah.
that we're showing our listeners more options other than expensive, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Now, Michelle, what would you say is worth the money? What
Well, so
is worth the money?
we're gonna
Yeah.
play a little game.
Yes.
So an either or game. So
Fun.
Lindsay, let's see what we think. So what is worth the money? A weekend trip or a concert?
So I
Mm,
would say weekend trip, but I've been to a couple of great concerts lately, but I still would say a weekend trip is worth the money. Just being outdoors, having an adventure is what I would
yeah.
choose. What about you?
It depends on who is in the concert,
Yeah,
but
of course.
I would have to say weekend trip as well.
Yeah. And depends
Um,
on where you're going for the weekend trip too, right?
exactly right, exactly. Lindsay, you can ask the next one.
All right, clothes or stuff for the home. What is worth the money?
Hmm. It's funny because I wrote this, but I don't.
Just to think about it.
I think probably stuff for the home. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm on board with you there.
Stuff for the home.
I just feel like I don't know if I really go out enough to worry that much about expensive clothes. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Well, maybe
I
in when I
know.
lived in New York and when I was 25, going out, right? Maybe I would have said something different. But now, nesting a little bit here, right?
Well, it's funny you say that because I was just thinking about this earlier. Do you ever have uh so do you have something that you own that's a little nicer that not even super okay, I'll give you an example. What I'm wearing today,
Hmm.
this is one of my pricier shirts, not sweaters, not very pricey, but I'm wearing it today, but then sometimes I feel to wear it on a weekday, I'm not really seeing anybody. I'm with my kids. Like, is it
Yeah.
worth it to wear this shirt today or do I
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
save it for weekends? And then I'll have things that I just don't wear
Yeah.
and it doesn't make any sense. It's just
Yeah, I
like,
agree. No, yeah, 100%, I agree.
yeah.
Um, yeah, so
And
I
the
would say, stuff for the
stuff for the
home,
home.
just, also well, it depends on what it is. Are we talking about actually, a couch that can go a long way? A comfortable couch can go
No,
a
I would say
long way.
something on something on a similar level to clothes. So maybe
Okay.
appliances or pillows for the couch, some sort of decorative.
Okay, yeah, I would still say probably the home. That's funny, I
Yeah.
probably definitely wouldn't have said that 10 years ago, but hey, life changes. Michelle, what
That's
about
right.
a new computer or a new TV?
I'm gonna say new computer.
Oh, yeah. No, completely agree because we work online and computers need to move fast, right?
Mhm.
They need
Yes.
good CPUs to move fast and help you get your work done faster. TV is just,
Right.
I mean, I don't know, but
It's
how
just
much better
TV.
can it really be? It's the
Right,
same show.
right. Right. Exactly. So, okay, well, that was a fun little game I had planned. Let's go into
Yeah.
a role play. So, we're
All
gonna
right.
show you guys these words in action. So, here, Lindsay and I are roommates looking for items for
Oh,
our place.
and it sounds like maybe we have different values around what to spend money on, maybe.
Maybe.
Okay. Oh, boy. All right. Here we go. Oh, my gosh. These curtains are beautiful.
Yeah, but look at the price, Lindsay. They're really expensive.
Well, that's true. I guess they are out of our budget.
Yeah. I do love these candles. They'd be a great centerpiece.
So nice. $300? Come on.
Ugh, that's too rich for my blood.
For sure. Way too pricey.
Not splurging on candles.
No way. Okay, so it sounds like we actually do line up in
Actually, we
terms of
do
our
line up,
values, which
yes.
is good. I bet this is, I mean, they say that money is one of the hardest things for if you're in a romantic relationship
Yeah,
for
people
couples.
fight about it the most, right? That's
Ooh,
one of the biggest things people
yeah.
fight about. That's what
For
I hear.
because everyone has a different association with money. It means something different to different people.
Yeah,
For some people, it's freedom. For some people, it's power. For some people, it's, I don't know, you could put any word in there.
and
And
it
that's what
can
money is, right?
right, and it can also have something to do with the way you grew up. So if you grew
Oh, yeah.
up how your parents raised you to look at money, if two people have really wildly different ways of looking at that, that can influence as
And
well.
and I feel like inevitably, no matter who you're coupled up with, you're gonna have some differences in the way you look at money. It's never gonna
Yeah,
be 100% lined
of
up because
course.
you didn't have the same upbringing, and
Yeah.
your parents didn't have the same experiences in their childhood. Like my grandmother, she lived through the Great Depression, right? And
Yes.
so she used to save
That
little
time.
rubber
Mhm.
bands.
Mhm.
When
Yeah.
she was living
Yeah.
in our home in 2008, she was saving rubber bands, right? Because
Aw.
she was born in
Yeah.
1908, and that's what her formative years were during the Great Depression. So I don't know. It's just history really comes in. right?
Ooh, this is an interesting conversation topic. I mean, we could talk about this more, so maybe we'll get to it another day.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, we'll come
Mhm.
back to it. Good stuff. All right, Michelle. Guys, don't forget to hit that follow button. You now have the skills to go and have a conversation about inflation if that's happening in your world, or just about money values. What do you like to spend money on? What is too pricey? What's not worth it?
Right.
You have the words. All right.
Did we go through the role play?
Oh, we forgot. Oops.
There
Okay.
we go. So you said these curtains are beautiful,
Yeah.
but I said they are really expensive. So that's the basic word.
And then I said, that's true. I guess they are out of our budget, right? Good to have a
Right.
budget. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
hmm
And then it turns out these candles are $300. Candles can be surprisingly expensive. I don't know about
Really?
$300, but I've been in some
Wow.
stores where I've looked at some candles, and I'm not a candle
Wow.
person, but
No, I'm
just for
not
fun.
either.
And yeah, they can be
Mm.
expensive. I don't know about this
Interesting.
expensive though. And
I
I
didn't
said
know that.
that's too rich for my blood.
Like that sing-songiness, too rich for my blood,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah, yeah. And then I said, for sure, way too pricey. I'm really emphasizing the way too
Wait.
pricey.
And then this was our bonus for today, and I just said, "Not splurging on candles," and interesting, I didn't say, "I'm not splurging on candles," I just said,
Or we're
"Not
not.
splurging on." Yeah, we
Right.
just right, exactly, we just said, "Not splurging on candles," so
Yep,
that's
dropping
interesting.
some grammar there, which very modern, very native right now, okay?
Yeah.
So, yeah, pay attention to that, guys, and I said, "No way." Okay, so we do line up. Thank goodness we didn't
We
get
do,
into
we
any kind
actually do.
of
No, no
disagreement, so
problems, we're
that's
good,
good.
we're good.
All right,
Um
Michelle, very good stuff. Yeah,
This
great.
was fun, Lindsay, and guys, we hope that whatever you're buying today, that it's good stuff and that you do splurge on something for yourself if you can.
All right, good stuff. Thanks for being on the mic today, Michelle. I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, bye.
Bye.